There are many ways you can prepare for the Angels of Zariman update that will be live on all platforms on April 27th, and to be fair, all you have to do is read this and, well, basically it's exactly the same that you need to do for the new war, because you have to have completed the new war before you can actually do this. So they said, where is it? The Angels of Zariman is a blah 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 expansion to the cinematic quest, the new war within, which you must complete before you can do anything. This makes perfect sense. The Angels of Zariman takes you to the Zariman that is first made available. You first get to see it during the new war quest. Not showing any spoilers, and it's been 4 months since that update came out, so this is basically the heavy part about this, is you have to have completed the new war beforehand, which means you have to have completed every quest, basically. And one of the ways of finding these quests is to go to the codex. Literally the first page is quests, and all you have to do is turn this to story. You do not have to have done all the Warframe related quests. All of these aren't essential. There's a couple that kind of fall over. The side quests, to be fair, none of these are supposed to be required. Apart from one slight little problem here, and it is actually listed as one of the main quests that you have to do. Rising Tide is the quest you do to build your first railjack. So you kind of have to do that before the new war, before you can pretty much do anything else, even though it falls under side quests. So going to story, yes, you still have to have completed all of these in basically order, which would be Awakening, Vor's Prize. The first two, you pretty much do them straight away. Same with Once Awake, kind of progressional thing. Then the Archwing, Stolen Dreams, the New Strange, Nata, that leads you into the Second Dream, the War Within. This right here is why I say some Warframe quests are essential, because the Chains of Harrow, well, it's part of the storyline, and it is actually listed as one of the main quests you have to complete before you get to the new war. The Zariman is kind of unlocked while doing that quest, so you can't go back to it unless you have, of course, completed the quest, which puts Gaia here in kind of a, because that is the new Warframe sitting here, all of the weaponry that is inside of this, everything that is coming in the Angels of Zariman update is basically going to be behind the new war. And let's be honest, it's not like the new war was a 8-year wait. Well, really, it was more like a 4-year wait, but it's been 8 years since the game came out, so I'm kind of going with that one here. It's been a long time coming. What it doesn't actually have here is, well, I know it says you need a railjack at the bottom of the screen there. But if we go back to side quests, it's a quest you have to do to get to the new war anyway, so you kind of need a railjack to do this, no matter what. Plus you have to have completed this quest to unlock the new war anyway. There was a few people that managed to get around this, but I still put this down to Digital Extreme. Probably should have had something in place that says you cannot start this, unless of course you have the railjack, and of course the Necromech. Which means you have to have done the Heart of Deimos quest as well, because the Necromech is kind of a little bit harder to get a hold of. But of course, to build a Necromech, you need to speak to Lloyd, which is why you are best to have done the whole Heart of Deimos quest. Rank them up if you so see fit, because you need to get a hold of these things, the Orokin Matrixes, to level him up, because that's the only way to get standing for Necroloid to be able to go to Browse Wares and pick up the Void Rig casing, engine, capsule, weapon pod. I want to say that's probably from the quest itself, but probably not. As well as, let's not forget, you can also build Bone Widow as well if you really want to build her instead. I don't know why I keep calling Bone Widow a her. You can, of course, use the universal medallions, but I would not recommend it. You are probably better picking up the matrices. Why do I not mention it? Because you get them from the same place that you get the damaged Necromech casing, the damaged Necromech engine, the damaged Necromech pod, and the damaged Necromech weapon pod. You're going to have to say Mother because you're going to have to do bounties here. Not these bounties, even though that's the Steel Path one, and to be fair, that's a lot of fun. Just because of how hard it actually is. It's a lot of fun. Make a team if you're going to do that. Don't do it with randoms. No, not these 6 bounties. No, though you can do these anyway because you can get resources and endo and lots of other stuff from it. Kind of do those to get a hold of the mother tokens to be able to level up the Entrati standing. It's the isolation vaults you want to do because there you go. Orokin Matrix. 2 of them is the common, 2 of them, well, the different ones. The orientation ones, the ballistic ones, and the animus ones. Literally goes, common ones are common drops, uncommon drops, rare ones, rare drops. As well as the Scintillant, you're going to need some of those. And you'll notice that stuff also drops with more of them on tier 2, and tier 3 drops the most by taking out the Guardians. The Guardian Necromechs. Yeah, those things. I do not have the right weapon to take you out. That's not good for me. Also, why is everybody just ran past you? And you... Okay, let me cover your back here. Whoa, okay. Could you not do that, please? Thank you. But you get it by taking these guys out. I'm having problems because I have the wrong weaponry equipped to be able to take these guys out. But these guys, they tend to go down fairly easily. They aren't really that challenging. As long as you just keep blowing that shield up, they can go down fairly quickly. If the whole team is concentrating on one instead of bringing all of them together, that's when they become slightly problematic there. But as you can see, gone. And if we jump down, you will see that would be 2 damaged Necromech casings. I have a resource booster for some reason. Another one down. That was fairly easy. I have no Sentinel equipped, but as you can see, there's the Animus Matrix that dropped from them and 2 casings. This is literally one mission. Oh. And that's the 3rd one. Dead. And they pretty much drop those things almost every time, but as you do it, you also pick up the Orokin Matrixes at the same time, though to be fair, I would have preferred Scintillant because that's what I kind of need the most. The reason for opening the vault... Wait, did you not pick that up? No. Is, well, opening the vault kind of gets you a few extra resources and the weapon pods for building the arc guns. Which is this. Yeah. You basically have to protect... Where are you? Lloyd and Otak. Him. He will go and do 4 towers. It's basically a mobile defense mission with a slight actual defense mission bases on it. And doing this will... Oh, excuse me. Where do you think you're going? That would be the Scintillant I was looking for earlier. Watch out for this stuff. It can be obnoxious. But you definitely want to pick up as much of that as you can, and the Necromechs drop that as well. It is best to assign somebody to do this, because once he's done, he'll come here, and you need to learn this pattern and open them in that exact order. In this case, it would be top right, bottom left, bottom right, top left, I think. Yeah, and coming in here is basically going to get you a few extra resources. Melee is not working. I've completely broken everything. Literally broken everything. The game glitched fairly early on, by the way, in case you hadn't noticed by where my abilities are placed in the bottom right. That came down to a lot of other issues. But doing the vault while you are here, you may as well. You're not going to lose anything by doing it. And if you're just forming the casing or the parts to build the Necromech, you may as well open the vault. You're going to get the weapon parts at the same time, and it is worth it. The queue for this can be quite fun though. I will stand here and not try and get in the way like everybody else. We're literally lining up to leave. That was 4 casings. I thought it was 2 different things. It wasn't. So you're probably going to have to do those quite a few times, but doing the tier 3 just makes things a little bit easier. As you've seen, that was literally 10 minutes and the casing is done. And sadly no weapon parts. I would have loved to get them. There was Scintillant, even though that thing does try to run away every single time. It's not really going to take up that much to pick these up because it's 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah. It's 13,000 standing total, which we got enough of the actual matrices. Even taking the fact, yes, technically I have a double resource booster from the login rewards, so really it was 3 Orokin Animus matrices. Even those 3 still paid for every single part to build a Necromech. They are not that hard to build. The longest part of this is getting a hold of the damaged components, and even when it comes to the resources for it, it's that tempered stuff. That stuff is so annoying to get a hold of. Oh, the thermic can be a bit of a pain. But you even saw Scintillant, we got some from there. So while farming the part, you're basically going to get almost everything you need to build your Necromech. Yes, I do wish they would make a 3rd Necromech, or maybe a 4th Necromech, or any other Necromechs, but let's be honest, we are all still waiting for the Arcwing changes. How about a new Arcwing that they kind of haven't added? Of course, this is just the basics for what Digital Extreme have said you need to get to prepare. Yeah, you're going to build a railjack on the way, and it's literally this console will unlock that allows you to configure it, modify it, put mods into it. The battle system, I need to come in here and actually set mine up properly because half of them aren't actually maxed anymore. Because I got busy doing other things while doing this. I do believe I've actually formatted this as well, but it doesn't say it's been formatted. There is this whole system that they didn't mention. The Intrinsics, you get intrinsic points from playing railjack missions themselves. And kind of maxing these, I forgot these were maxed. This was so much work, it's not even funny. Why am I mentioning this now? Well, there's this fun thing happening this weekend from April the 22nd at 2 PM until April the 25th at basically 2 PM. This is all in Eastern time, by the way. That would be ET, as is shown up there. So this weekend, starting on Friday at 2 PM ET until Monday at 2 PM ET, which is basically into the following week, which I really thought that was the Noggle this week. No, the Noggle's next week, which ends it. But there's also a double affinity weekend next weekend. Not only this weekend, but next weekend as well. It's this one that's kind of the important one, because double affinity means double intrinsics. Yeah, forming those this weekend is going to kind of be a huge bonus that is there. There used to be so many different ways to do this, but now, in all brutal honesty, yeah, I wouldn't do the spy one. That I'd do. You're best off just clicking on Void Storms and going, right, which ones of these are going to be the longest? Exterminate is fine. That, yeah, I would go there and just do that. You can pretty much get a lot of intrinsics from there fairly quickly. Obviously, the higher the level of survival, the more there is, but any of these will get you the most kind of intrinsics points the quickest. And it's just so much fun these days. Railjack is really good. It's also really good for leveling up, and I will mention why I'm seeing survival. You can use the Necromech and level the Necromech while getting intrinsic points. So you can level up your railjack and your Necromech and your intrinsics in one mission. Because my mind is just on that double affinity weekend. Happens to be just before the Angels of Zariman launches on April 27th. And it is the 27th, because it's actually only, I've got it wrote down. I don't know why I didn't just look at that and said I can't remember if it's the 27th, but never mind. That being just beforehand means you can level everything, even down to your operator, to your Zor. That's not a Zor. Your amp. You can level your amp and get that maxed if you want to. There's a lot of things that you still have time to do before the Angels of Zariman launches April 27th. But with that, we'll leave this off here because no doubt it's going to be way longer than I would really like it to be. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.